3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Don't get cute, Jacksonville Jaguars. You better pay that man or you're going to regret it later.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
It never ceases to amaze me just how heavy of a pocket-watching industry we live in. This is our ecosystem. This is our environment. And you know what? I'm part of it. So guess what we're doing today on Theoretically Speaking on this beautiful Tuesday that the Lord has blessed us with? We're pocket-watching, and we're starting with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are in the midst of a decision. They have to figure out if 3 years into the Trevor Lawrence experience, they are going to extend their quote-unquote franchise quarterback. They're next up. They're the ones at bat right now. And all across the NFL conversations, the sports talk shows, everybody's debating whether or not Trevor Lawrence, the guy that was once presented to us as a generational prospect, best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. I mean, at the high school level, this dude did nothing but win state championships, and I witnessed one. I actually witnessed one at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. People don't know. I used to be a sports TV anchor in South Georgia, and back then I watched a lot of prolific athletes who are now playing at the professional level. I got to witness Anthony Edwards as a high school basketball star going up and down the court. That was my first glimpse into who is now the future face of the league. And one of the many athletes I got to witness in person in Florida in high school was Trevor Lawrence, quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, up for an extension this offseason. He could play through the year and be still eligible for another extension next summer. But if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, and you know what the cost of business is for a franchise quarterback, and you believe that that guy with the flowing gold locks and a bit of a turnover problem, but all of the tools you would want. He's like a 5-tool quarterback in the NFL. He can move. He has the big arm. He's been accurate enough. He's shown that he can win at a high level. He's also already won a playoff game. He's won a playoff game, something that Tua Tagovailoa for the Miami Dolphins can't say he's done so far. You have to pay Trevor Lawrence, and I don't care if it costs you more than $50 million a year, you get that contract done now. And I bet you're wondering, why are Theo Dorsey and C-Cat here in Palm Beach County in the Treasure Coast on Theoretically Speaking? By the way, if you're not tapped in on YouTube, you should be. Hop on YouTube right now at Theo Speaking. Tap in, subscribe, and you can stream us live. You can see myself and C-Cat, who's in another wonderful Hawaiian shirt, a pink Hawaiian shirt today. And C-Cat, I got to ask, as we talk about this Trevor Lawrence thing, and of course, he's won a playoff game, but he doesn't do a lot of winning out there in Jacksonville. Is this like a victory shirt because you whooped me on when we played our round of golf this morning?
Yeah, I'm flexing a little bit. I'll be honest. I'm feeling really high about myself. Had a victory breakfast afterwards as well.
How was that? What you eat? Because me and C-Cat had a 7 o'clock tee time this morning. We played 18 holes. I think you beat me on like 16 of 18 holes.
You got ugly.
if we calculated it out right. But what did you eat? What was your victory meal after, taking me to town this morning?
I don't want to derail the show.
No, John, what was it?
All right, so I got this thing called the Big Boy, and it was a hot dog stuffed with cheese, wrapped in bacon, deep fried on a hot dog bun. Yeah, I had that at like 11 a.m. It was good.
This dude is that you know what? That was a good call because that could easily derail the show. You ended up gloating with a glizzy after whooping my tail on the golf course. But you know what? We'll get back out there again, and I will prove myself as a golfer that is ascending in his game right now. By the way, you're looking good out there, man.
Really?
You're looking
Thanks,
good.
dude.
You've been getting it in.
I appreciate that.
Another guy that's been looking good, but maybe not great, is Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who is, again, the topic of discussion all across NFL talking heads and platforms today. Yesterday, Dan Orlovsky was on NFL Live, and he said unequivocally, Trevor Lawrence has not earned elite quarterback money. He said it. He stood on it. He also said he might not even be a top 8 quarterback in the league right now, but he can prove to be that in this coming season. Well, Dan Orlovsky was back on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and he had this to say about Trevor Lawrence, and again, the expectation that he'll get paid this summer.
There's no way that we could sit here and say that this guy is Trevor Lawrence has, deserved or his play is earned, however one of you phrase it, the same as Joe Burrow or the same as Josh Allen or the same as Patrick or some of those guys that are even Kirk, someone responded back to me yesterday. He's a top 8 quarterback. There's 8 right now that just came to the top of my head that are better, and it doesn't mean he's not going to get there.
So here's the thing. And Dan Orlovsky goes on to name some quarterbacks, and I think we might actually play that game here today on Theoretically Speaking. A little bit of Trevor Lawrence or Trev or, which, that might be fun, C-Cat. We'll get to that. First and foremost, let's get to the topic at hand. Paying the quarterback that you have in your locker room, on your roster, a guy that you believe to be a franchise quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars have to do it today. Jared Goff just got a $53 million per year deal from the Detroit Lions last week. The Lions obviously have a little bit more confidence that they can win at a high level with Jared Goff. They were in the NFC Championship game last year. Jared Goff has been the quarterback for a team that has made a Super Bowl. He's done it before at a high level in the playoffs. They've seen it, right? But context is important. What Jared Goff has been put into the league with, and the teammates he's been in, and the systems he's been in, and the coaches that Jared Goff has benefited from have been a level above what Trevor Lawrence has experienced in Jacksonville. Let's not forget, Trevor Lawrence started his career his first year under Urban Meyer, and that was a disaster. He spent more time, getting lap dances from women at a bar than he did going over the playbook with his rookie quarterback. And in the next couple of years under Doug Peterson, his sophomore season, we saw the promise, right? And then going into this past year, there were a lot of people. There was, before the season, C-Cat, I don't know if you remember, there was like Trevor Lawrence for MVP hype buzzing around out of Jacksonville. You're a fantasy football guy as well. You remember how high he was going in those drafts. A lot of expectations were lofted on Trevor Lawrence before last year.
He finally got a number 1 target in Calvin Ridley. We thought that was the missing piece after the year suspension. We thought this was going to be the battery mate that was going to take the league by storm. Which
makes sense. And guess what happened? Trevor Lawrence actually was pretty good last year. The Jacksonville Jaguars got off to an 8-3 start. The thing that derailed the Jacksonville Jaguars season last year wasn't just, inefficiency from Trevor Lawrence. And was he turnover prone still? Yes. Does he have some kinks to work out in his game? Of course he does. He's not the perfect quarterback, but you're not paying a guy today to be the perfect quarterback. You're paying to develop him into that. And if you believe Doug Peterson is the coach that he's supposed to be, he should be able to get the most out of Trevor Lawrence. Let's not forget, the Jaguars got off to an 8-3 start last year. Trevor Lawrence suffered injury after injury and kept bringing his 6'5" tailback out there and playing through injuries like a warrior, trying to drag this Jaguars team through the finish line, and they almost won the AFC South. Lawrence had a left knee sprain in week 6. He had a high ankle sprain in week 13. I remember he played a couple games where his throwing shoulder, his AC joint, needed some work. And through all of that, Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars were 1 game off from winning the AFC South. If they would have beat the Titans in Week 18, we wouldn't be having all of this C.J. Stroud Texans talk that we're having this offseason. If the Jaguars had a healthy Trevor Lawrence last year, we're not likely talking about the Houston Texans, which is, a fan favorite. And you know what? As a guy from the city, I am more than proud that C.J. Stroud and of course, DeMeco Ryans has lifted up that franchise to a place where people are picking them as their Cinderella favorite to make a run through the AFC. But let's not forget the Jaguars were 1 game away from being that team. Let's not forget last year in the playoffs, it was Trevor Lawrence that led a 28-plus point comeback against the Chargers. This is a franchise quarterback, and I say the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't care if it costs you $55 million a year, you get that deal done now, because after this next season, the price is only going to continue to go up. Jared Goff didn't reset the quarterback market. He reset the mid-tier quarterback market, right? Once he got that $53 million APY deal from the Detroit Lions, Now Tua Tagovailoa and the Brock Purdy's of the world, now they have something to walk in the door and demand higher than. It's not a, diss to Jared Goff. He's just not a needle mover like that. But you know what, C-Cat? How about we do it? We play the exercise. You can pull up your list of top NFL quarterbacks right now, and I'll tell you, forget money, right? Throw money out the door based on age and who that quarterback is right now as a player, whether I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence or the other quarterback. Let's call it Trev or. How's that sound?
That's a good idea. I'm not going to give you the top quarterbacks because we know the top guys. You'll take Lamar, take Burrow, maybe. You'll take Mahomes.
Yeah, Mac Jones, like it's easy.
I'll give you those mid-tier guys because of the market being reset by Jared Goff. We'll start off with the king of the mid, Dak Prescott. Trev or Dak Prescott?
I got to go Dak Prescott right here. And Dak catches a lot of flack, but let's not forget, with about 4 weeks left to go in this past NFL season, Dak Prescott was getting MVP buzz. He had CeeDee Lamb looking like the best wide receiver in the NFL, which when Mike McCarthy is going with his play calling and if Dak is in rhythm, he certainly can look like that. Dak Prescott over Trevor Lawrence, that's an easy one.
Up next, Trev or Brock Purdy.
Oh. 49er fans and even our own Cade Chumsland here at ESPN West Palm Play, they're going to hate this, but I'm going Trevor Lawrence over Brock Purdy. You take, and C-Cat, we talked about this before the show, you take Trevor Lawrence and you put him in a Kyle Shanahan system with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams at left tackle. I mean, are we talking perfect season?
Yeah. Like, you as a Chiefs fan, you know that team would outmatch, even with Mahomes. It wouldn't matter.
That would be the toughest team on paper in the NFL. Now, Trevor Lawrence still hasn't shown us mentally he has the NFL game down pat, but at the very least, we know he's better than Brock Purdy. What's next on Trev or Trevor Lawrence or other franchise quarterback?
Trev or Jared Goff.
Woo! That's a tough one.
But chant Jared Goff. What other city chances for their quarterback like that?
So the Detroit Lions do have a good thing going with Jared Goff. But again, you have to provide context in these situations. I think I will go with the promise, the potential, the ceiling of Trevor Lawrence over the ceiling that I already feel like we've already hit with Jared Goff. There's more promise in Trevor Lawrence, whereas with Jared Goff, it's like you kind of know what you're going to get.
Let's go to L.A. Trev or Justin Herbert?
I thought you were going to go Stafford for some reason right there. Justin Herbert is still – whoa, that's tough. And then they played in the playoffs. You know what? I'm not going to play I'm going to go ahead and play the results on this one. Give me Justin Herbert over Trevor Lawrence. Give me the guy that also came in his rookie year in the middle of the year into an offense that he didn't get a lot of first-team reps with and looked like a winner from day one. Trevor Lawrence was promised as that prince, that next-up guy, but – Justin Herbert kind of showed us in his rookie season.
We'll see a lot more about Justin Herbert this year where he's given a bag of peanuts for a wide receiver core.
Right. And he's also going to be given an offense that's run-focused, that'll not have him throwing it 40 times a game. And maybe that taking a little bit of pressure off of Herbert might do him well. I mean, and also, Brandon Staley to Jim Harbaugh, has there been a bigger coaching gap?
Good point.
I expect some good things out of Herbert this year.
And our final Trev or contestant, Trevor Lawrence or Tua Tagovailoa?
Tua, is it cold? Is it going to be cold outside? Is this a dome game?
In a vacuum.
Oh, my gosh.
No weather.
I'm going Trevor Lawrence. And if you're a Dolphins fan right now, that should be what is most concerning to you. Trevor Lawrence is I think he's a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. He hasn't proven it yet on the NFL level, but he does have something that Tua doesn't have and that the Dolphins haven't had in 23 years, and that's a win in the playoffs. The Dolphins have the longest active streak of no playoff wins in the NFL right now, and you know who doesn't? The Jacksonville Jaguars, because of their quarterback. So I'm taking Trevor Lawrence over Tua Tagovailoa, and I hope the Dolphins get a deal with him too. There it is.
Trev or. That was a lot of fun. I think someone is in their car right now cackling, loving the name of that segment. Yeah, Trev or.
You got to be.
It's got a great ring to it.
You got to be. It does have a great ring to it. And you know what it also does? If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars and you lock in with Trevor Lawrence, it provides you some security. It provides you some comfort. And you know what doesn't provide you security and comfort? These dangerous roads out here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. If you find yourself in a sticky situation, a car accident, a truck accident, a slip and fall, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Want to know why? They don't get paid unless you do. They're going to fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. So call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. Don't just settle for any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to take back control of your life. So take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. When we come back, we have a special surprise for you. When we come back, we have Uncle Steve, and also a quick note for Miami Heat fans. Bam Adebayo got his first team all-defensive selection. Congratulations to him. That's a big deal right there. Also, rookie forward Jaime Jaquez Jr. was named first team all-rookie this week. Big celebration. Now, CCAT, he's the 7th Miami Heat rookie to earn the honor. The 7th in team history to earn the honor. Jaime Jaquez Jr. as first team all-rookie. I'll tell you who the last one to do it was. And trick question here because that guy's not on the Heat roster anymore. The last Miami Heat player to be first team all-rookie like Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Uncle Steve when we come back on Theoretically Speaking.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN